good evening. Welcome to the session. Good afternoon to everyone. We are going to start immediately. I apologize because we are a little bit late because we have some technical issues, but I'm here in order to begin with the class today. This is our first session, and in this first session, we are going to explain what we are going to do during these 2 weeks. In this course, we are going to have 4 weeks, but we are going to have 2 connections. This is our first connection. And in this first connection, I'm going to explain the activities that we are going to cover during the next 2 weeks. I'm going to share my screen immediately with the information that we are going to present about this course. Okay, as I mentioned before, welcome again. Welcome to everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here sharing this time with all of you. This is Instituto de Educación Superior Nueva Luz, and today we are going to cover the content about 2 subjects. In the first hour, I'm going to cover phonology and phonetics, and in the second hour, I'm going to cover the content related to technology for education. Now we're going to start with the course about phonology and phonetic. It's a pleasure for me and Mrs. Gonzalez, and I'm going to be your tutor during this course, during these both courses, because we are going to cover phonology and phonetic, and we are going to cover technological tools for education. Here, this is our agenda for today. First of all, we have the welcome. Then we have a video as a reflection. Then we have the course introduction. I'm going to explain the information first about phonology and phonetic, and after that, I'm going to explain the information about technology for education. I'm going to explain the evaluation, how we are going to collect the different grades in both courses. The assignments, I'm going to provide the instructions for the different assignments that we are going to have in both courses, and I'm going to show you the different modules and the information related to both courses on platform. We're going to start first with a reflection. This is a short video about reflection to begin with our courses. And trying to show the video. After watching this video, now we have a very powerful message for us and for our life. This video shows the importance that we have the hard working when we have a goal, when we set a goal that we want to achieve in our life. If we work with consistency, with discipline, at the end, we are going to achieve that goals. This video has a really motivational message for all the participants in this course. If you have a goal, if you want to achieve the objective that you have planned for you and your life, you need to apply all these things. You need to work very hard. You need to apply disciplines in all the things that you do, in the activities that you realize, in everything that you do every day. And at the end, you are going to get the goals. You are going to get the aims that you have for you. Okay, now I'm going to move to present information about the course. Firstly, here we have the course description. Here, this course introduces students to a study of articulatory phonetics and the technical terms required for describing a speech. It provides students with the basic notion of phonetic sounds and the set of symbols of transcribing English. The main emphasis is on acquiring the practical ability to make and hear differences between sounds and to identify common pronunciation problems. The specific aim of the course is to provide students with a solid foundation for the study of the sound pattern of English. This is the course description. Here in this course, we are going to cover different information about phonetics in terms of articulatory, in terms of the different sounds that are very important to know in the English language. Then we have our course objective. In this course, we are going to recognize the main characteristic of phonology and phonetics. Also, we are going to identify voicing, placings, and manner of articulation of the different English sound. And we are going to describe and use English consonants and vowel sounds appropriately. These are the course objectives that we have, that the activities that we are going to do are linked with this course objective. Here we have the information about the schedule. We are going to have a month to cover this course, but we are going to have two virtual sessions. Today, this is our first virtual session, and on July 20, it's going to be the second virtual session. You have this information on your platform. Here you have the link to get the meeting. Here, this is the way that we are going to assess this course. This information is in Spanish because this is a requirement for the institution. Here, you know, we take into account the attendance. In this kind of course, the attendance is going to be a part of the assignments. If you complete all your assignments, you are going to have a complete attendance percentage. Then we are going to have two assignments related to class activity or workshops. It's going to represent 15% each one, and then you are going to have 30%. You are going to have two assignments. In the assignments, one of them represents 15% and another one represents 10%. At the end, you are going to have 25% in this space. And you are going to have one activity to cover the final project. The final project represents 35%. At the end, you have the 100% for this course. In totally, you are going to have 5 activities, 2 workshops, 2 assignments, and 1 final project. This is the way that this course is divided. Now, here I'm going to show you the information related to the planning for this course. I'm going to show today the first 2 weeks, this week and the next week. On July 20, I'm going to show you the second 2 planning. Here in this part, this course is called Fonética Y Fonología. In English, you know, phonetic and phonology and phonetics. Here, the code, this is the code ING 170, ING 170. Here, this course begins today, and this course ends on, here we have a little mistake. It's course finished on July 30. This is the end of the course, July 30. And here we have the session, the content that we covered during this week. The first content says, conceptos de fonología y fonética, órganos que intervienen en el proceso de la producción del sonido, descripción del sonido de consonantes de acuerdo a la sonorización. Here in this week, you are going to review the concept about phonology and phonetics. which are the organs that take part when we produce different sounds, and we are going to describe some sounds in English. Here, these are the activities that you are going to do during this week. And in the activities you are going to have, the attendant that I mentioned before is part of your requirement. And the activity number 1, that is a workshop, and it represents 15% of your evaluation. Here you have what the achievement indicators, what we expect in this course for you. This is the second week. Here in the second week, we have the content that you are going to cover during the next week. Descripción del sonido de consonantes de acuerdo al lugar y forma de articulación. Reconocer las principales características de los sonidos stop y fricative. Here you have, we are going to continue talking about description of sound. Especially, we are going to focus on stop and fricative sound. We are going to cover that in the next week. This is the next week. This is our second week in this course. Here you have the activities. In this case, you are going to have the workshop number 2. This is a summative activity and the attendant. These are the percentage, the summative percentage that you are going to cover during this second week. Here you have the achievement indicator. These are the indicadores that the course has for you. In English, we say achievement indicators. El ser reconoce los puntos y formas de articulación de cada sonido presentado, produce los sonidos de stop and fricative, describe de forma completa cada uno de los sonidos en inicio, medio y final. The activities are going to focus on this achievement indicator. You are going to recognize the different forms and manner of articulation. You are going to produce sound, and you are going to describe the different sound that you can get at the beginning, in middle, or at the end of the words. Here, in the first week, we have the objective, in this case, to recognize the main characteristics about phonetics. This is our specific objective in the first week. And in the second week, we have to describe the main characteristic of the sound stop and fricative. In the second week, you are going to focus specifically to describe the stop and fricative sounds. These are the content for these 2 weeks. Now, I'm going to explain the first assignment. This is a very short assignment, but very specific, because you need to read the information that you have in your model. You can research extra information, but at the end, you are going to transform all this information in your own words, because you are going to explain in your own words the different questions that you have here. The instructions said, you have to answer and explain the following questions in your own words in complete sentences. You should consider grammar, structures, and others, all the language in context. When you write your answer, also clarity and coherence should be considered. Originality should be checked. You have here 5 questions. The question number 1 says, what is phonetic? The question number 2 says, mention the 3 types of phonetics. Question number 3 said, what is acoustic phonetics? Question number 4, what is auditory phonetics? And question number 5, what is articulatory phonetics? Okay, you are going to check in the model. In a few minutes, I'm going to check to show you the model. You are going to check the model. You can research extra information in order to answer this question. But When you are going to answer your question, you need to use your own words, okay? You need to use your own word. You should explain by using your own word. Please don't copy and paste information. Try to analyze and explain in your own words. For this reason, originality should be checked because you want to analyze all the information and present your own answers. And it is mandatory to answer incomplete sentences, okay? Incomplete sentences. Here, I have the criteria for this activity. In the first criteria, it says all answer with quality. All answer with quality. It has 25 points. All answer with quality. Okay, you are going to have the 5 answers, but you need to apply quality. You need to answer with high level of quality. Also, I'm going to assess the logical clarity and coherence, and that you use complete sentences. As I mentioned in the instruction, you need to apply logical order. You need to apply clarity in your answer. Obviously, you need to answer with coherence, with relation with the topics that we are discussing in this assignment. And we are going to use complete sentences, as I mentioned before. The next point is grammar in context. It has 10 points. I'm going to assess the grammar, the correct grammar structures, that you use the grammar in context in an appropriate way. The punctuation and spelling, it has 10.2. Take into account, please, when you need to use capital letter, the end dots, all this part in punctuation and spelling. Also, the originality, as I mentioned before, I'm going to check originality. This is a very short assignment, but you need to apply your own ideas in order to present your answers. It represents 10.2. And the punctuality, if you present your assignment on time, it represents 10 points. Okay, I suggest you work week by week, but you have until July 30 to present all the assignments, until July 30. After July 30, you are going to have 10 points less if you present your assignment late. For this reason, you have all this time to present your assignment, okay? After July 30, sorry, you have 10 points less. This is our first assignment. I recommend you to upload in a PDF document or in an online document. If you work in an online document, just share the link. If you work in Word, please transfer that to a PDF document and upload in a PDF document, please. If you work in Microsoft Office in a Word document, please transfer that, convert that to the PDF document and upload in a PDF. Okay, this is our first assignment that we have for this first week. Now, I'm going to show you the instructions for the next week assignment. Here, this is the activity, the second activity that we are going to cover in this course. It says activity number 2. It represents 15% of the total of the percent, that is 100. It represents 15. Okay, in this activity have 2 parts. You are going to cover both parts. In part number 1, the instruction set. In each set, circle each word that has a consonant with the manner of articulation for that set. I repeat again, in each set, circle each word that has a consonant with the manner of articulation for that set. Here you have three different manner of articulation. You have stop, fricative, and nasal sound. Here you have different words for each set. You are going to circle in each word the different consonants. For example, in the first set, you have the manner articulation is stop. You are going to circle which are the consonants that are stop sounds. In the second case, you have a fricative sound. This is the manner of articulation, the fricative sound. You are going to circle in the word the sounds that take part of fricative sound. You have four words and you are going to circle that sound. And in the last sound, you have a nasal. The manner of articulation is nasal. You are going to circle the sounds or the consonant sound in this word that you have here that take part of the nasal sound. In this part is just circle the consonant sounds according to the manner of articulation. In the second part, you have here some sounds and you are going to describe them in terms of voicing, place, and manner of articulation. You are going to say, what is the voicing? For example, if it's voice or voiceless, you are going to review that and to provide the voicing. Also, you are going to include the place of articulation. You are going to say where we produce this sound, which organs we use to produce this sound, and these have some names. For example, you are going to say if it is labiodental, or you are going to say that if bilabial, you are going to describe the place of articulation. And also, you are going to describe the manner of articulation. You are going to say if it is stop, or fricative, or nasal, or affricate, or glide. You are going to show that. You are going to analyze that and describe in terms of voicing, place, and manner of articulation of this English sound. These are the English sounds, okay? These are not letters, these are sounds. And for this reason, you are going to describe in terms of voicing, place, and manner of articulation. Here you have the criteria for this second activity. The criteria says, identifying the manner of articulation. As I mentioned before, you are going to identify the different manner of articulation. The description in terms of voicing, place, and manner of articulation. This is for here. You are going to provide a description in terms of voicing, where we produce that sound, that is place, and how we produce that sound, that is manner of articulation. It represents 50 points. The first criteria represents 30 points. And the punctuality, if you present your assignment on time, you are going to have 20 points. If you present your assignment late, you are going to discount 20 points for your activity. This activity has time to develop until July 32. All the activities you have until July 2 to cover. Okay, now, let's check the platform in order to show what are the different activities in this course that is phonetics and phonology. Yeah, let me second. I'm trying to show the plot. Okay, I'm going to show the platform. Okay, this is phonetics and phonology. In Spanish, we say Fonética y Fonología, and you are the group number 35. Here on platform, you have all the information related to the course. Here you have the course presentation. Here you have the information related to the grades. As I mentioned before, you have all this information previously. Here in this part, you have the English model for this course. I'm going to show the model. Here, this is the model for phonetics and phonology. Here, if you see, we have the planning at the beginning. Here you have the different criteria to the different activities. You have activity number 1, activity number 2, assignment number 1, assignment number 2, and the criteria for the final project. Here you have all the information related to our institution. Here we have the agreement. In this part, we have a message for you about the course. Here, the general information about this course and the different content that you are going to develop during these 4 weeks. Here, the evaluation information again. And here you have the different topics. Here, in the first, we begin with phonology and phonetics. We have the information about what is phonetic, the different type of phonetic that we have, that is auditory, acoustic, and articulatory. Here we have an explanation about the articulatory system and the different organs that take part in this articulatory system. These are the organs that allow us to produce the different sounds. Here you have the explanation about that. Then we have the information about consonant sounds. Here how we can describe the sounds, as I mentioned before, in voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. Here we have the explanation about voicing and the different division that we have in voice and voiceless sound, how the sounds are divided in these two options that we have. You have some link with extra information that you can visit in order to get more about this topic. Then we have the descriptions in terms of place and manner of articulation. First, we have place of articulation, that are the zones or the spaces in which we produce the different sounds in the oral cavity. Here you have the different place of articulation: bilabial, labiodental, alveolar, post-alveolar, palatal alveolar, palatal alveolar, interdental, and glottal. And then we have the manner of articulation. We have stop, fricative, affricate, nasal, liquids, glide. And we have an explanation here how we produce the different sounds in English. You have explanation and example for all of them. Here, if you see, this is a complete model with all the information related to the different sounds. Here also you have another extra details or extra information. You can click on the different links in order to get more about how we produce the different sounds in English. Here we have another. In this case, we have nasal, affricate, liquid sounds, and glide sounds, and all the descriptions in terms of each sound. Here you have more extra links to get more information. And at the end of the model, you have a part related to or destined to vowel sounds. At the beginning, we have the different consonant sounds. But in this part, you have information related to vowel sounds. Remember, the vowel sounds are very important. In Spanish, we have just 5 vowel sounds, but in English, we have like 15 vowel sounds. Okay, and at the end of the module, you can see the activities, the first 2 in class activity, and then you have the assignments. You have 2 assignments. Here you can see the files, and you have the instructions for the final project. Okay, this is your model. Now, let me continue showing the platform. Let me go back. Oops. And here, okay, in this part, you have the planning for week number 1. Here you have some extra information, extra links. And here in this part, you have the class activity number 1. In this part, you are going to upload this class activity. As I mentioned before, the activity is available until July 30. From July 1st until July 30. Then we have in the week number 2, we have the planning for week number 2. And in this part, you have here some extra links or extra information, in this case about stop sound, fricative. You have 2 extra links about fricative sound, and you have the class activity number 2. Okay, in the class activity number 2, you are going to cover also, or it is available until July 30. July 30, from July 1st to July 30. Okay, this is the information related to phonology and phonetics. Remember, if you have questions, let me know, please. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you if you have any doubt about the different activities that we have during this course. It will be a pleasure for me to help you or to provide any kind of support if you need. Okay, this is the information related to phonetics and phonology for these 2 weeks, for this week and for the next week. Okay, on July 20, that is our second connection. In that session, I'm going to provide more details about assignment number 1, assignment number 2, and the final project. Here you can see on platform, because those activities are open. They are already open, and if you want to work on advance, you can do it, because you can go to the platform and get the information for the assignment number 1, assignment number 2, and the final project. But in the next session, I'm going to provide more details about that those 3 activities. Okay, this is the information related to phonetics and phonology. Now I'm going to share with you uh, the information related to technology. That is our second subject that we have together. I'm going to show the model, I'm going to show the platform for phonetics. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to work on Canva if you want to present this assignment on Canva. And I'm going to explain how to convert the Word document in a PDF document, because it is necessary to upload in a PDF document the answers, your activity, because in this way I can grade your activity in a easiest way. Okay, now I'm going to show information now about technology for education. Okay, we are here now. I'm going to talk about technology for education and the activities that we are going to cover in this subject. Here in this subject, I'm going to focus on some technological tools that you can use in terms of help the students, or to help the students to improve their skills in listening, in writing, in reading, and speaking, and how the technology can help them to improve that. And even for the teacher, how the technology can help the teachers to improve our abilities, to improve our ways to speak or to pronounce in a very good way, or what tools can help us to develop our listening skill, how we can practice by using the different technological tools. Okay, now here, this is the course description for this course. I'm going to read it. This course is designed to prepare professionals who integrate language learning tools into their English language teaching. Participants will become aware of free technological tools, learn how to use these tools for language learning and teaching, and evaluate the appropriateness of technology tool for their specific context. Teaching and learning deals with didactic theories, working method, learning strategies, and teaching materials. The basic skill in English and interdisciplinary work will also be dealt with. Based on the student proficiency in English and insight into the subject didactics, the course will furthermore focus on didactic reflection and practical rehearsals in the form of planning, implementation, adjustment, and assessment of the teaching of English in lower secondary school, even in primary school. Here we have our course objective: to apply technological tools to improve English skills, to determine which technological tools are appropriate for learning English as a second language, especially in writing and reading, to identify which technology can help a student to improve listening and speaking skills, and to use technological tools in every environment where English is taught. These are our course objective. And if you see here, we are going to focus in the different technological tools in order to help students to develop their language skill, that is writing, reading, listening, and speaking, as you know. Here, as at the previous session, here we have the ways in which we are going to assess this course. We are going to have 5 activities. We are going to have 2 workshops. In the workshop number 1, I'm going to explain in this session, and I'm going to explain the assignment number 1 in this session 2. This one, trabajo en clase número 1, asignación número 1. These activities are going to take place during this first 2 weeks, and the assignment number 2, the assignment number 2, and the final project is going to take part in the next 2 weeks, in the next connection. As a requirement of the institution, this is the percentage that we need to cover here. We have 10% in the attendance, 30% in the workshop, 25% in the assignments, and 35% in the final project. Here, I focus in the attendance, as I mentioned some minutes ago. Okay, the attendance in this kind of course is part of your assignment, okay? If you present all your assignments, you have all your percentage in attendance. But if you lost, if you don't present any assignment of this one, you are going to lose a percentage in the attendance list too. This is very important to be clear with that. If you just present, for example, 1 workshop and 1 assignment, here in the attendance, you are going to lose like the half of the percentage, because you are losing the half of the activities here. This is important to take into account that. Here you have the planning for this course. For the first week, here you have educational technology, and here you have the general objective to apply technological tools to improve English skills. Our specific objective to use technological tools in every environment where English is taught. Here we are going to discuss during this week the importance that have technology in the education field. Here you have the course presentation, and the topic is educational technology. And here, this is our first session. In the activity here, you are going to review the different content that you have in this week, because you are going to cover, you need to analyze and discuss the information. And in the activities, you are going to have for this first session, a mind map. You are going to do a mind map in a few minutes. I'm going to explain what you are going to do in this mind map and what is the topic. And in the achievement indicators, students can summarize the most important details by reading and taking an active part in the class discussion. A student can identify the different apps and their features about technology and its importance in developing English skills. In the achievement of performance, students can discuss and describe in a written way the different advantages of technology in English learning, and a student can express why the apps are fruitful for learning a language. Here, this is the planning that we have for this first week. Now, I'm going to show the planning for the second week. Here, the planning for the second week in the general objective, you already know, to apply technological tools to improve English skills. In the specific objective, to determine which technological tools are appropriate for learning English as a second language, especially in writing and reading. Here, the topics to develop in this week, we are going to discuss about writing and technology and reading and technology. What apps, what application we can use to help our students to develop these skills. Here you have the activity. In this case, you have an assignment. This is the first assignment. In the assignment, you are going to create a podcast. In a few minutes, I'm going to explain the podcast. It's about what. And here you have the criteria. In the achievement indicators, we have a student can brainstorm, select, and organize and deliver a short English class by using technological tools. A student can explain the benefits of the technology for improving writing and reading. Student can list the positive, negative, and interesting aspect of technology in education. Here in the performance indicators, students can apply technological tools. Students can record a podcast. A student can explain what apps can work according to their skills. In this opportunity, we are going to focus, as I mentioned before, in these two skills in this case. Here, now I'm going to provide the instructions to create the first activity, to develop the first activity. This is an individual activity and it's a mind map. The instruction set, you should select one of the resources in the topic of technological tool and research about it in order to create a mind map. There are some examples of technological tools that you can research. For example, buns, backpack, seesaw, nearpod, learn around the world, Globster, Fleet Grip, Today Smith, Teeny Tap, Popple, Bengage, Canvas, Padlet, Google Classroom, Mentimeter, Kahoot, Quizzes, Spider Scribe, and others. You are going to select one of them. If you can research another one, you can do it. But you are going to choose just one research, one technological tool and research about it. What you are going to research, what you are going to search on the internet, you are going to search the main features about this technological tool, about these apps, the main uses, the access, how we can access, how we can use that platform or that application, the advantage that this application have for educational tools, and if you want to include another extra information, you can do it. Okay, I'll repeat again. What you are going to research, what you are going to investigate, you are going to choose one of these technological tools, one of these applications. For example, if you choose Flip Grip or Flip, currently the name is Flip, okay, you are going to research what is Flip, the main features about Flip, how we can use Flip, how we can access to this app, what are the advantages that we have if we use Flip in educational fields, and if you want to add extra information, you can do it. You are going to create a mind map with this information. Take into account spelling, grammar, and punctuation, okay? This is language in content. You are going to consider the grammar. Illustrate according to the content. Remember, when we create a mind map, the mind map have illustrations, okay? The illustration are part of the activity. For this activity, I recommend you use Canva to create your mind map. Okay. I suggest you to use Canva. In a few minutes, I'm going to explain how to use Canva. But if you want to use another apps, another technological tool to create your mind map, you can do it. And it says, be creative. Be creative. Here I have the criteria. The content include the most important details, as I mentioned before, features, usage, advantage, and others. If you include all this information, if you take into account spelling, grammar, and punctuation, illustration, as I mentioned before, in the mind map, the illustrations are part of the activity, the creativity, and the punctuality, okay? At the end, you are going to have 100 points, okay? 100 points in this activity. This is our first activity, a mind map. In the second activity that we have in this technological tool is a podcast. Okay, this is the assignment number 1. It's going to consider it like assignment. And the instruction says you have to record a podcast for at least 130 minutes in which you share your opinion about podcasts as a technological tool to help students improve their listening and speaking skills. It is mandatory to use an online podcast app. Share your podcast on the platform by using a link. Consider grammar structure, tone of voice, quality of contents, and coherence. In the same way, avoid plagiarism because it will be checked. Okay, what you should do in this activity? In this activity, you are going to record a podcast. You can use any technological app that you want to create a podcast. Okay, there are many of them that we can use from your cell phone, since your cell phone, or you can use on the computer. Choose the best that you prefer and record your podcast. What you are going to explain in your podcast? You are going to explain the importance that the podcast activity to help students to improve their listening and speaking skill. How this technological tool can help the student to improve the way they listening or to improve the way they speak when they use the English language. You are going to describe, okay, what is a podcast. You are going to mention how you can use podcasts in your class and how podcasts can help the students. This is the content, okay? This is the explanation that you are going to do. Your podcast is about that, how students can improve their skills by using podcast files. If they listen in a podcast, if they prepare a podcast, how this activity help the student. You need to share the link. Remember, don't upload, please. You don't upload on the platform an audio. You need to share the link with your podcast. And you need to consider the grammar structure when you are talking, the tone of voice, the quality of content, what you are going to explain, the coherence in this activity. Okay, if your explanation have quality, if you explain with a logical order, with your information have a coherence related to the topic that we are discussing. And please, okay, you can research, you can investigate, but explain in your own words. Explain in your own words. Provide your own ideas. How do you consider podcasts can help students? Explain. How do you have in your mind? How? How do you think? How do you believe this activity can help students. Remember, you can research, yes, go to the internet and research about podcasts, research about the main functions, research about how to use podcast. But when you are going to explain, explain in your own words. Okay, here we have the criteria for this activity, the oral content. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm going to assess the quality and logical explanation, and this represent 50 points. Then I'm going to assess the performance activity with the text tool that you use, a podcast tool, to create your activity, 20 points. The tone of voice, pronunciation, and topic domain, 10 points. If you are prepared to do your podcast, the way in which you do your podcast, I'm going to evaluate that. And the language in context that include grammar, punctuation, spelling, that you use the verb tenses in appropriate way. All of these things take part in the language in context. And punctuality, okay, punctuality. It represents 10 points. At the end, you have 100 points. This is our two activities that we have for technology course. Remember, these activities are already open. They are already open, and they will be available until July 30. Until July 30, you have that time to accomplish these activities. I suggest you start working since that day, since this day, because you are going to have a lot of time to present these activities. Okay, now let's check the platform in order to show where you have the information about here. Okay, I'm gonna share here. Okay, and this is your course. Here you have the course Tecnología Educativa en Enseñanza del Idioma Inglés. As I mentioned before, here in this course, we are going to focus on review different technological tools that can help our students to develop their English language skills. And in this case, this is Tecnología Educativa en la Enseñanza del Idioma Inglés. Okay, how the technology, how these applications as a teacher we can include when we are teaching English in order to, as I mentioned before, to help the students. Here you have the welcome information, the course description. We have my contact information. Here you have my email. Here you have my cell phone, and here you have my name, as I mentioned at the beginning of the class. Here you have our schedule for this course. Here we have the date. Today is the first date. The next dates 13, 20, and 27. July 6, July 13, July 20, and July 27, 2024. We are going to have the connections or the virtual sessions on a Saturday, like this one at this time. On Saturdays, here we have from 12 until 2 p.m. And we are going to have two virtual connections. The first virtual connection is today. The first connection is this one, is this time. And we are going to have the second connection on July 20, as I mentioned before, on July 20. And here you have the link to get the virtual session. Here you have the objective for this course, as I mentioned before, to apply technological tools to improve English skills, to use technological tools in every environment where English is taught, to determine which technological tools are appropriate for learning English as a second language, especially in writing and reading, to identify which technology can help a student to improve listening and speaking skills. Okay, here you have the content, the references, and the module. Here in the module, I'm going to show what information your module has. Here, all the information related to the course, the agreement, the planning again, about the context, the summary units, all the information about the course syllabus, the class format, the evaluation format that you already know. And here we begin our module with information about educational technology. Okay, here in this first page, we are going to discuss how the technology is playing a crucial role in our education today, for the students, for teachers, for the system in general, okay? And you have information about that here in the first pages. Then you have, we introduce in the writing and technology, how technology can help students to improve their writing skills. And you have here different information about that. You have some technological tools or technological apps that can help students to improve their writing skills. And here you have the detail. Then you have the detail about reading and technology. Here in this part, we focus on the apps that can help students to develop reading skills. For example, Epic Books, we have Teach Your Monster to Read, Storyline, Quizlet, we have different. Then you have information about listening and technology, the different apps that can help students listening to improve their listening skill. This is one of probably of the student have main difficulties when we are developing listening skills, and how these apps can help the student to improve these skills. Here you have some of them. For example, lyrics training. This is even for teacher. If we want to practice listening, we can use lyrics training. Listen notes, speak pipe, teach beat, Ace and Rosie, listen notes. Here we have just a couple of examples. If you know, there are many more. There are another ones that are very fruitful for the students when they are learning English. Then we have the speaking and technology here in this section. We are going to discuss about some tools to help students in terms of speaking skill, to improve how they can improve the way they speak if they use technology. Here you have some of them: Sounds, Elsa, Speaking Paul, Speaking English Fluently, Duolingo. And this is the content that we have. At the end, I have a big list with another technological tools, like an extra information You have English sites and other page that have very useful information to help our students to develop their English skills in terms of speaking and listening or reading and writing. Here also you can see the activities. Here you have two class activities, as I mentioned before. The class activity number 1 is a mind map. This is the activity that we have from this week. And our next class assignment is an individual activity. You are going to prepare a short lesson to improve the students, to help the students to improve their writing skills. Okay, you are going to prepare. This is our second activity. Then we have the assignments. In the assignment, you have a podcast. That is activity that I already explained, that I explained before some minutes ago. And here you have like a assignment number 2, a discussion board. This discussion board is on platform. And then we have the instructions for the final project. Here you have the discussions and you have the topics for the final project, and you are going to choose one of them. In the next session, I'm going to explain these 3 last activities. Okay, now I'm going to move here to platform. Here you have the method to evaluate. Here you have the planning for the week number 1. Here you have the class activity number 1, that is the mind map, as I mentioned before. Here you have the instructions to present your mind map. Let me go back. Here you have the week number 2. And the week number 2, you have the planning. And here you have the activity number 2, that is a podcast that I mentioned before. Here you have the instruction and the criteria to present your podcast. Then you have the week number 3 with the planning and the class activity number 2, and the week number 4 with the final project and the discussion board. That is the assignment number 2. And this is the information that we have in this course. Remember, we are going to have 5 assignments or 5 activities, 5 summative activities. You have since that day, since this day, until July 30 to complete all of them. Remember, the attendance list is related with the presentation of your assignment. If you present your assignment, you are going to have the complete attendance percentage. Okay, now I'm going to provide you an explanation about how to record on Canvas. I'm going to explain you how to create a mind on Canvas. This is the technological tool that I suggest you to create your mind map. Here, you go to Google and type the word Canva. Here you are going to pick up the first option that you have. I already have an account here, but if you don't have an account, you register. I recommend you to register by using the Gmail, because in this way you the Canva get all the information from Google and you get the app in a direct way. Here, for example, I have my dashboard. Here I'm going to click on create a design. In Spanish you are going to see crear un diseño. In English, create a design or create. And you are going to choose the option mind map, or you can type in Spanish mapa mental, okay? You choose the option and you are going to have many options to use, many already options to use, okay? You can pick the one that you prefer, okay? You can pick the one that you prefer and you start editing the information, or you start replace with the information that you have about your topic. For example, if you choose a Google Classroom as a technological tool, here in the middle, you are going to type Google Classroom and you are going to provide the different information in terms of their features, usage, advantage, access, and in each of these parts, you are going to provide the different details, okay? You can here modify, you have in this part that it says elements, you can include all the things that you want. You have pictures, you have emojis, all the information. Here in this part that it says text, you can pick up and add information. Here you have to change color, fonts, if you want to use bold, italics, all this information. You can do it all these things here. When you have your maps ready, when you have all the information here ready, just you are going to click here on compartir or share. You are going to click here and you are going to pick here in this part that it says enlace público para ver, okay? And you are going to click here in this part and you are going to click in this section, crear un enlace para vista pública. You are going to click here and it says copiar. Click on copiar and just you have here the link. If you see, I'm going to paste on Ethernet. Here you see the mind map, okay? You paste the link on the assignment on the platform. Just you need to share the link with the assignment. You don't need to upload a document. You don't need to upload anything, just the link. But in case you cannot share the link, here you can download, here in this part, it says descargar, and you click here, and you can download this one like a JPG, like this one in a PDF or a view one, okay? These are like a pictures. These two, the first one are like a pictures, and this one are in a document, okay, in a PDF. Canvas is free. They have a paid option, but it's not necessary to register in the payment, okay? Use your work in a free option. Here in Canva, also you can create a document if you want, if you see, to present your first assignments in a document is the same. You click here in doc, and here you can work like a Word document. Here you have the page, you have the color, the options, you have to include pictures, elements, image, all the information that you want to include. And at the end, you can share just the link, enlace público para ver. And you share just the link on platform. I recommend you use Canva in order to present your assignment. But if you want to use another one, you can do it, especially to create the mind map, okay? Especially to create the mind map. I recommend you to use this. For the rest of the assignment, if you cannot create the document here in Canva, you can create in Microsoft Office. But example, here you have your assignment. This is an example. And I asking you to upload in a PDF document. Okay, I asking you to upload your document in a PDF document. What you are going to do? You are going to save your document here that it says guardar como, choose the file, and in this part, type the name, and here in this part, choose the PDF document. When you choose the PDF document, immediately your document is going to convert in a PDF document. Here you have, immediately this is a PDF document. Here you have the example. And you upload to the platform in a PDF document. Okay, this is a requirement to upload your assignment. You can work on the online app like Canva or Google Docs, if you prefer, whatever. Or if you work in the Microsoft Office, please, before to upload your assignment, transfer or convert to the PDF document to facilitate the grading process. Okay, this is about technology. Okay, I was telling you that you can work on Canva. I'm going to show you again because I think uh, I was facing some technological issues here with the connection today, and I'm not sure if you were watching what I was explaining here. I was mentioned that you can record or you can create your files here on Canva. For example, if you want to work the assignments here in the doc, in the option that is a doc, you can work here. This is like a Word document, but the difference is that you are going to share just the link. When you share the link on platform, here you create your document, you can assign colors, you can assign picture, image, all the information that you want. And when your document is ready, here you can click on the option share, and here you pick enlace público para ver. And when you get the enlace público para ver, just copy the link. Here, click here and copy the link and share on the platform, okay, on the activity. If you review here, I can see your document. And just copy the document on the link. Here, you can work to your math mind. Here, you tap here, mapa mental. You are going to have different designs ready just to replay with information that you are going to present. For example, this one here, you have an example. You are going to replace here with your information. If you choose, for example, you are going to talk about a Google Classroom. You are going to replace and present information here, present with your details, with your feature, with the advantage that you're going to share, with the how to access, all the details that the assignment is asking you, you replace here, you add the pictures that you are going to add. And when you have your activity ready, just click here on share, enlace público para ver, crear un enlace para vista pública, and here copy the link. And in this way, just you need to copy the link and upload to the platform, just the link. But if you have problem to get the link, here you can click on this option again and you can download. Here it says PNG, like a picture, JPG, like a picture, or you can download in a PDF document too. You choose the option and just to get the information and upload to the platform. Another way, I mentioned you that I want to upload your activities as a PDF document. If you cannot work in an online way, you can work on a Microsoft Office, in this case in Word. But when you have your document ready, please upload in a PDF way. How to upload in a PDF way? When you have your document like this one, this is an example, go to Save As, in Spanish, guardar como, save your document, assign the name, and in this part, when it says tipo or type, choose the PDF option. When you choose the PDF option, you click on save and immediately it's going to convert in a PDF document. I asking you to upload in a PDF document or in an online document because it's easier to get and I don't have any kind of problem when I'm going to evaluate your assignment. If you upload in this way, I'm going to get your activities easy and you don't have any kind of problem if the information is moved to any place or whatever this kind of problem that we can face when we upload in a Word document. This is like a suggestion. You use the options that you prefer. You use the options that are the best for you, the fix the best for you, okay? Remember, I'm here to help you during this course as a requirement, as a fresh reminder. Remember, I'm going to be here from this date until July 30. You are going to develop both courses, phonology and phonetics, until July 30. Remember, the attendance list the attendant has a percentage, and the attendant is related with the presentation of the assignment. If you present all your assignment, you are going to have all your attendance points. Okay, because this is part of the evaluation structure provided by the institution. Okay, I'm going to finish this session today. I'm going to complete this session. Remember, let me know if you have any doubt. You have my contact information on platform. You have my cell phone. You have my email. In our second session, I'm going to explain the activities that we have for week number 3 and week number 4 in both subjects, in phonology and phonetics and in technology. You have 3 assignments in both because we are going to cover the 2 first assignments in the 2 first week, and in the second parts or in the second connection, I'm going to explain the activities that we have for the last 2 weeks of the course. Even the last 2 weeks finish on July 7, but you are going to have until July 30 to upload or to complete or to deliver your assignments. All your assignments, including the final projects and all of this kind of information. You are going to have until July 30. Okay, I'm going to stop here the class, the connections. As I mentioned before, you have everything on platform, but if you have doubt, if you want to ask something to the teacher, you can text me or you can type an email, send me an email with information, with your doubt, and I'm gonna be for help you, for support you. Okay, I'm gonna stop here the class today.